Irma Gold. I'm an author and editor and ambassador for the Chief Minister's Reading Challenge. I hope you're all doing okay out there during these very, very strange times. It certainly feels like our whole world has been turned upside down and you guys can't go to school and, we can't see our friends. So I hope you're all doing okay. But one of the benefits of isolation, or one of the things that you can do during isolation, is to read. And books are normally my favourite thing anyway, but isolation is the perfect excuse to just read all the time. One of my favourite things about books is that you can go anywhere and you can do anything through the pages of a book. So I thought today, since I'm sadly not able to come into your schools, that perhaps we could go on an adventure together and that we could go into the snow in Japan through my book, which I have back to front, Megumi and the Bear. Megumi and the Bear is illustrated by Craig Phillips, and the illustrations are inspired by time that he spent in Hokkaido in Japan. So you might like to go and look on a globe whereabouts that is. But let's go now into the snow with a little girl called Megumi. At the bottom of Megumi's garden is a forest of fir trees. Early one morning, when Megumi is looking for fir cones, she finds a bear. He asks Megumi to be his friend. Megumi and the bear play hide and seek. Megumi hides carefully and tries to make her breathing quiet, but the bear always finds her. Do you think he sniffs her out? Bears have a very good sense of smell. Megumi and the bear dance together. They spin round and round until Megumi gets so dizzy that the trees tip into each other's arms. Wild happiness sings in her chest. Do you like to dance? Have you been dancing in isolation? That's another fun thing you can do, isn't it? Megumi and the bear build a ramp. They shovel snow with their hands and slap it down hard. Megumi flies so high, she is sure she has grown wings. Afterwards, they lie holding hands, their chests heaving. The bear's paw is furry and warm in hers. She doesn't want him to let go. One afternoon, Megumi goes to the woods, but the bear isn't there. She waits and waits until the moon shines down on her full and round. As Megumi stands with her head tilted back, a star falls towards her like a flower. She quickly wishes to meet the bear again, but the bear doesn't come. Every day, Megumi goes to the woods and waits for the bear. She wants to meet the bear again so much it hurts inside, but the bear doesn't come. On Megumi's birthday, she doesn't get the one gift she wants. She blows out all her candles in one big puff and wishes to meet the bear again, but the bear doesn't come. As days pass, the snow starts to melt and daisies uncurl themselves. Megumi blows a dandelion to bits. She watches Fluff dance towards the sun as she wishes to meet the bear again. But still, the bear doesn't come. Megumi stops wishing to meet the bear. She starts to forget how they danced and laughed and flew through the sky together. One afternoon, Megumi's friends come over. They run out to the forest where they play hide and seek. Megumi hides behind a tree, pressing her cheek against its rough bark. She stays still so long that the voices disappear and the quiet of the forest swells around her. She is about to go and look for her friends when she feels something on her shoulder. It is furry and warm and reminds her of things she has almost forgotten. Megumi feels her mouth grow into a smile. The bear has come. Hopefully that story made your mouth grow into a smile. Now, another great thing that you can do in isolation is to make your own books. And I know a lot of you are already doing this because when I come to your schools, you tell me about them, or sometimes you even show them to me, which is super exciting. All you need to make your own book is a pen and some paper. So it's pretty easy. But if you're feeling ambitious, you might like to try going back to the old days and making yourself a quill and some ink. So if you can find a feather in the garden, we have a lot of cockatoos at my place and their feathers make perfect quills. You could go and find one of those and you can actually make your own ink at home, but it can be very messy. So if you're going to do that, make sure that you have a parent to help you. But if you go online, you'll actually find some recipes for ink. You might also like to add your own illustrations. You can use pencils or textures or watercolor paints. You might decide to do something like collage where you can cut up, bits of paper from magazines and newspapers and any little pretty bits of paper that you can find. Or you might even like to make your own lift a flap book, so you can make some flaps out of cardboard. I started making my own books when I was about 6 or 7, but I want to show you a couple of books that I made when I was in grade 6 because I had the most amazing teacher in grade 6 called Miss O.D. And Miss O'Donoghue from Parkdale Primary, if you are out there, please get in touch. Miss O.D. was amazing. She made every single lesson fun and I think everybody in the whole school loved her. But the thing that I found the most fun was that we got to make our own books. And so we wrote them, we illustrated them, and Miss O.D. bound them all up for us. So because I'm like a billion years old, I typed these up on a typewriter. And I'm sure a lot of you will probably know that a typewriter is a bit like a computer, except if you make a mistake, you can't fix it. So it's nowhere near as good. And this is a book that I wrote. I was really into horses then, and I used to go horse riding. And so I wrote about a horse called Cherrystone. And you can make a book about whatever you like. It could be about something that's happened in your life. It could be about an alien. It could be about absolutely anything. You're only limited by your imagination. So I hope you make your own beautiful books, and when I come into your schools, you can show me what you've been doing. I also want to show you or tell you a little bit about 2 new books that I'll be able to show you next year when I come into your schools. So I had to put on the hat to tell you about my next picture book called Where the Heart Is, which will be coming out in June next year, 2021. And it is about, you guessed it, a little penguin. It's based on an extraordinary true story that I cannot wait to share with you. I can't tell you too much about it just yet, but it is being illustrated by Susanna Crisp, and she has done the most glorious illustrations. The little penguin looks much cuter than me in a penguin hat, let me tell you, and I can't wait to share that with you. Then in August, I have another picture book coming out with Walker Books called Suris Story. And this book has been many years in the making. It is about my favourite animal in all the world. Can you guess what that might be? You got it. Elephants. I love elephants. I have been very lucky that I have been to Thailand several times and I've got to work with rescued elephants, which is amazing. And Suris Story is about a little baby elephant who is kidnapped from the wild or captured from the wild and put to work in a circus. And all she longs for is to find her mother again. It's being illustrated by the uber talented Wayne Harris, whose illustrations just make me swoon. They just have all the feelings and emotions in them, and I can't wait to share that book with you as well. Until I can come into your schools, I hope that you will continue to do lots of reading for the Chief Minister's Reading Challenge, and you might like to set yourself a challenge to see how many books you can read. A couple of years ago, we had one student who read 240 novels during the challenge, which is incredible. And he actually measured the spines of all those novels onto a big piece of paper that stretched almost 5 meters. How amazing is that? And then last year we had another student who hadn't been a particularly avid reader who set himself the challenge of reading 1,000 books during the challenge, and he did it. How amazing is that? So you might like to see how many books you can read this year. I hope you find some really amazing books to keep you company in isolation. And I really look forward to coming and seeing you all once we're all able to get out and about and do things again. Bye for now.